Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge, and welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. I'm broadcasting from Los Angeles, so yesterday I was in Salt Lake City or Park City, Utah. The day before I was in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we made it out to California, moving Raven out, on our trip here. So let me give my shout out to thisent.com. Check out what Joe Walker's doing. The champ is going through all the episodes and summarizing the data, writing little write-ups about it, and promoting a few people. And let's see, I've been started to ask my guests in the last 5 or 6 shows who they want to give a shout out to. And my guest today said his friends and family, in particular his mom, which I thought was cool because moms and wives have been the most popular people that people have been shouting out, or spouses, I should say. And let's get to my guest today. Jameson, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
So explain where we're at to everyone, if you don't mind.
So this is just my house in LA. I live with my roommate Michael and my other roommate Matt, and we've lived here since September. Moved out here to attend Icon Collective, a music school in Burbank, focusing on mostly electronic music production. And kind of just been out here going to school.
So what's this background here?
Yeah, so these are, I'm not sure what mountain range this is, but in the back is Burbank and Glendale, and behind that is the mountains, I think. I forget what the tallest peak over there is, but yeah, me and Mike hiked up there a couple months ago. So
I don't know how well you guys can see that in the background, but this is a gorgeous view. I mean, it's an unbelievable view. It's like a rock star's view, isn't
awesome.
it? Let's get into you a little bit. Where were you born and raised, and where'd you go to school? And
so I was born in Lake Orion, Michigan. Was raised in Rochester, and went to school, elementary school at Delta Kelly, middle school at Van Hoosen, and high school at Detroit Country Day in Bloomfield. Attended Michigan State for 4 years, got my business management degree, and moved out here and started attending Icon.
So I love it when people list off their elementary schools and all of that. I don't always know where they are or what they are. So of all the schools that you listed, I know Country Day and MSU and Icon, obviously. Tell us, so do you consider yourself kind of growing up in Detroit? Do you say that, or are you close enough to Detroit, or do you always?
Yeah, I'm about 30 to 40 minutes out of Detroit. Sometimes if people like from California will ask me, or out of state, I'll say suburbs of Detroit. But I know a lot of Detroit people don't necessarily like when people from the suburbs say they're from Detroit. But
I mean, being that close to Detroit, what music did you listen to growing up?
Grew up listening to a lot of old school hip hop. So a lot of Eminem, a lot of Notorious B.I.G., a lot of 50 Cent, that kind of stuff. And then whatever was on the radio, really, off the top of my head, like Usher, Akon, all the classics, all like the 2000s bangers, I guess.
So you're growing up near Detroit. You decide to go to MSU, and you studied business management. I think you said. What happened at MSU? What do you like MSU?
Yeah, I loved MSU. Met a lot of my good friends there. Joined a fraternity, Psi Epsilon. That's how I met my roommate Matt, and ended up moving out here with him. My sophomore year, I got me and my buddy split like these DJ decks, and I didn't really know anything about it, and got them, and I just couldn't put them down. And then eventually that led to getting gigs. My first gig was at a place called Land Shark, a small bar in East Lansing.
Yeah.
And then my cousin was actually the manager at another bar called Lou and Harry's, so he was booking me there. And then eventually I got a job DJing at Harper's and DJed for about 2 years in college, and decided DJing wasn't really, I guess, fulfilling my artistic desires. So I got into music production, started exploring that route, and thought that the best choice for me would be to go to Icon. That's kind of how it all transpired and how I got to this point.
So I'm gonna get into Icon a little bit more in a second. When you started out at MSU in business management, did you think you'd ever
Oh,
end
no.
up?
And if you ask any of my friends from high school or early college days, like, I'm sure the last thing they would have thought I would have done is music or DJing or any of that. I wasn't even really into electronic music until probably my freshman year of college, when I went to Lollapalooza, and that kind of like changed my perspective. Seeing it live and just like the community around it and the kind of people that enjoyed it, like, kind of drew me in, and yeah, I was kind of hooked ever since that.
So would you say that that one single event that changed everything was that getting that turntable?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if my buddy didn't push me to get that, I don't think I would be where I am today. I'd probably be doing. My original plan was to do like something in real estate, like commercial real estate, or like residential real estate, like flipping houses or owning rental properties and kind of building up uh, just a bunch of investment properties and doing that. But yeah, I found music and thought that was definitely the path I should go down.
Yeah. I didn't think that was your original path based
Yeah,
on us
yeah,
talking a little
100%.
bit. And you asked me to give a shout out to your mom. Do you want to say her name? Because
Yeah, my mom's name is actually Kelly. So my real name is Jameson McDonald, but my artist project name is Jameson Kelly. And I chose Kelly because that's my mom's name. So yeah, she's just supported me in everything I've done, and wouldn't be here without her support. So
was she one
appreciate
of the
it.
people surprised when you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think she was surprised at first, but then it was leading to so many job opportunities, and I was like really just kind of, I was making money with it and doing all that kind of stuff, and she saw like the potential with it, and I think she's also happy with what I'm doing. So it's cool. She's really supportive, and I appreciate it. So
I I have a lot of artists come on this show, and they always talk about, they know their art, they know their craft, but
Mhm.
they don't know the business side. They
Yeah.
don't know how to set up a website, or they don't know how to, should they be an LLC or whatever. All the things you learned in school. Is that giving you a huge advantage right now?
Yeah, I think for me personally, I'm grateful that I'm allowed to look at being an artist as almost being an entrepreneur in a way. I think the two aren't very different. And a lot of artists, I think, are so creative and like, um, so focused on just the art, where nowadays, like, you have to be able to brand yourself, market yourself, um, really get down to the nitty gritty of all that stuff, which I think is derived a lot from business. So just having that background, I think, has benefited me a lot, and just kind of separating the two, where I can like kind of turn on my artist side and then turn on my business side when I have to. And that's helped me, I think, progress a lot.
I always wonder when artists do that. Do you work on your art for a scheduled time and then do business stuff a different scheduled time, or do you just do what
Um,
needs to be done?
I kind of just do what needs to be done, do what I'm feeling that day. I definitely spend more time making music than I do business things. I think the music comes first. If you don't have good music, it doesn't matter how much you brand yourself, how much you market yourself, what you do. Like, if the music doesn't hold its own, then you're not going to really get anywhere. But I think keeping the business side in mind is definitely beneficial and definitely has helped a lot.
So, speaking of promotion, if someone wanted to listen to some of your work right now, how would they do that?
I have a couple songs and remixes on SoundCloud that I have. A lot of my stuff is unreleased right now. I'm kind of building up a library of music, just to be ready and go on like a spree of releases so I can build up momentum and build up traction and kind of send out songs to labels. And if they ask for more, I'll be able to send them more. So right now I'm just focusing on building and building and building that library and really refining my sound, refining my craft, making sure everything's ready and then I'm happy with it. And then I'll be releasing a lot more pretty soon. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Just want to say hi, Robert Lopez. Tell your brother happy belated birthday for me. Giving a comment over there. Let's go. Let's jump into Icon a little bit. Tell us about, and this will be the second time that we've talked about Icon, I think, on the show. If you guys remember MY and his show, or the guy that made the beat for 99 Problems, but a pitch ain't one. He is the roommate Mike that you talked about, and also attending Icon.
Yeah.
Tell us about Icon.
So Icon is a fairly new program. I think it started maybe 10, 15 years ago, and they've just had an incredible track record of producing just some of the top names in electronic music and people who are headlining festivals, and a lot of people, even more people who are maybe not headlining festivals, but also just making a living off music. And their curriculum is very electronic focused. So I thought that was the route for me to go. Yeah, I don't know.
Are you learning more about being an artist or the business of it, or is it a blend?
Yeah, so it's kind of an all-encapsulating school. They teach you how to play piano, they teach you music theory, they teach you the business side, marketing, branding. They really teach you everything that you need to know, and it's only a year program, which I think is one of the biggest draws to it. Not having to spend 2, 3, 4 years at a school, because a lot of people are postgraduate, like college students. So
okay,
I think that's what draws them in. So I can get in, get out, learn what I need to know in like a streamlined way, and start, actually doing the damn thing where it's not like,
Have you finished your year, or are you still?
I'll be finished in September, so
Okay.
in about 2 months.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's going really well.
Yeah, it's going really well. I've learned a ton. My music has gotten 10 times better. I found I've been getting booked regularly, almost every weekend, for shows at clubs in LA and just small parties and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's really helped me. So
yeah,
it's fun.
And it's house.
Yeah,
right?
I do house music. They kind of do every kind of music. I think they're leaning into more pop music recently at Icon, but yeah, there's people who make everything. I mean, some people in my class make alternative music, some people make like heavy bass music, dubstep, trap, everything. So I think it's got a good blend of everything. It's exposed me to a lot of new music where I don't think I would have listened to that stuff otherwise.
And do you think being from Detroit or the suburbs of Detroit influenced your choice to go with house?
You would think so, but honestly, no. I
didn't think you were gonna say.
Yeah, because I didn't listen to a lot of electronic music growing up. I really didn't know anything about it until college, and I kind of thought it was, like, I don't know, like just for the hippies, and I don't know. And yeah, the community ended up being great. The people are great. Everything about it's awesome. So I think it's a really inclusive community, inspiring. Everyone's super creative and welcoming. So that really drew me in. Where something like rap can be very like polarizing and very like tribal in a way that people like identify with this artist or this sound, or this city and only artists from that city, and they don't like people from other cities, or they're not open to other things. Whereas EDM's a lot more broad, and people can, I don't know,
Yeah.
like everything. So I like that.
So what's next?
Right now, I'm just focusing on building on my library, playing as many shows as possible. We're kind of working on a tour right now. I think we're going to do like a college tour with this artist from Canada named DLMT as our headliner. I'll be probably closing for him, and a couple of my buddies. They go by FOMO, and this other guy named Forbes. And yeah, so I think we're planning on doing like about 25 shows across the U.S., just hitting all the major colleges, campuses like ASU, MSU, USC. I think we're going to start with the Southwest and kind of move up. So yeah, that's next. I'm excited for that. Be on the road.
Are there some colleges that are into EDM and some aren't?
Oh yeah,
Like,
I think definitely like down here in LA, it's massive compared to what it is at MSU. At MSU, we were kind of, because me and all my buddies that DJ'd at the bar, we were all into like house music and dance music and the electronic stuff. But I don't know if the scene is really boomed there like it has here. Here, it's like wherever you go, they're playing house music and everyone loves it. So I think it's just a good place to be for that kind of music. So yeah, we'll definitely strategically plan out where we're going to go based on how big the crowd for it is at that school.
Yeah. Harper's.
Oh yeah.
You worked there. I
Yeah.
mean, you DJ'd there.
Yeah.
Did you cause the big super spread? I'm just kidding.
It's likely. I don't know. The day classes started, I think that's the busiest Harper's has ever been. There's probably 700 people inside, and then a line down the street. If you know where like Hopcat is in relation to Harper's, I mean, the line was down there at 7 p.m. I've never seen it that busy. And
you were DJing that night?
Yeah, and that was the night they announced that there's a global pandemic. So I don't know, something could have went down there for sure.
Yeah, they got in a little bit of trouble later on.
Oh yeah,
about the super spreading event.
Yeah, they tried to open up, I think, a little early, but
yeah. You glad COVID's it's not, is it?
Yeah.
We're in LA. It's coming back.
Yeah, there's a little bit of it coming back, but I think, the resurgence has been amazing. Like the clubs are full every night of the week. I mean, people are getting out there. I think a lot of people are being safe, being vaccinated and going out and being responsible. So that's good. But yeah, it's been great. I think electronic music especially is just going to see a huge renaissance just from everyone like taking it for granted, I guess, before COVID. Now that it's back, everyone's like, oh my God, I can't miss a show. Can't like waste all my time staying in, so.
I do feel like we're like in the roaring 20s that you read about, right? In the 1920s. I feel like that's coming back.
Yeah.
Is your plan to stay in LA or?
Yeah, I plan on staying in LA for a bit. So I'll probably go on the tour, be doing that for a couple of months, and then come back and really try to gain some traction down here and establish myself for a couple of years and really just get embedded in the scene here and grow from there. Try to move down to maybe San Diego, get bookings there, get bookings in San Francisco, and then hopefully across the US. And yes, I think the best place to be is LA. I don't see anywhere else in the US that has as many opportunities. I mean, some will argue Miami, but I think LA is for sure. If you're an aspiring music producer, especially in electronic, any genre, really, it's the best place to be.
Yeah, it is. The energy here is just amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's just the sheer amount of people. I mean, there's nowhere else where there's 11 million people living this close to each other. I mean, everyone's on top of each other. You look at like the population of Arizona, and I think in LA County we have like a couple million more people. So there's just no way you could beat the market here.
I love that you made the tie between an artist and an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And we just went down to Venice Beach just to take a walk and do a little, just kind of waste some time today. And it's like everybody there is an entrepreneur. I mean, they're all hustling.
And everyone in LA.
I know that's what I was going to say. Driving down the street, there's all these places that are somebody's putting a new sign up, somebody just new businesses churning constantly.
Oh yeah, everything's always restaurants are always closing, reopening, rebuilding, restoring buildings, and it seems like there's just nowhere like LA for this inspiring entrepreneur in pretty much any capacity. I think restaurants, and I think it all boils down just the sheer amount of people. There's just it's just there's always demand for everything down here. So.
I wish we had this that same feel in Lansing sometimes, but we do need that density.
Yeah.
So, and we 100%. Need to be a little bit more proud of ourselves, Lansing.
Yeah.
I mean, people here, I think they're proud to be here. They're proud of where they live. So, what do you do every damn day to push your mission forward towards?
Yeah, so like I said, I mostly just focus on the quality of my music. And I think as a music producer, that should be your number one focus, just to grow in general. If you have quality music, I think it will get heard and you will do something with it. It's just about working every day, making sure I'm spending time producing every day, keeping up on my social medias, networking. I like to do a lot of that, inviting people over just in like a personal scenario, just to get closer with them and learn what they do. And you can never have too big of a network, can never have too much music, and I don't think you'll ever be the best at making music, so because it's so subjective. So all you can do is get better and let that take you wherever it will.
I was going to kind of ask you what quality meant to you, because it is, that word itself is subjective.
Yeah.
And 100%. Then music can be subjective. Do you, where do you get your inspiration from? How do you?
I get my inspiration a lot from just being out. I just find so much joy, and I have so much fun going out and listening to the kind of music that I make. So I just want to provide that experience for other people. And if I can do that to the best of my abilities, I think that's what quality is. And just providing something new, something fun, something exciting. So when people hear it in the club, I mean, they just have a good time and kind of forget about all the BS that they might be going through in their actual life, and give people an escape and just dance and let loose for a little bit. Yeah.
So if the crowd's doing that, you're successful?
Yep. If the crowd's moving, I feel like I've done my job. So
that's what I was going to say too, but I thought I'd leave that space for you. Thank you for all that.
Yeah.
So we daisy chained the shows together, and yesterday I had on the show an artist who is basically making a living doing her art now. She also had I think it was a business degree, but something, I mean, she really had that advantage. And the question that she wanted me to ask you is, do you want to go into space? And with the little twist of what Richard Brunson did and Dumbass did, you guys know I hate him, so I'm going to be negative. So would you like to go into space?
Yeah, I think 100%. If someone's like, hey, catch a ride down here and we're going to space, I don't think I would think twice about it. I've heard, I mean, I forget who it was, but some astronaut or something had this quote where if you see Earth from space or something, change your whole life perspective. I don't know, I think that would just be like an experience you couldn't pass up on. Could probably be life-changing. I think it would be life-changing, so yeah, I'd definitely do it.
Would it be something you'd want to go for just like a few hours and come back, or would you want to go up there and stay?
I want to be probably in and out. I don't know if I could handle being up there for too long. I'd probably get all stressed out, but I think definitely if I had the option to experience that, I would easily.
That's I think I would too. I think seeing that, I'm really into something called Gaia, where the Earth is a living organism, and which would have been my answer on 2 shows ago, by the way, everyone. And I just seeing that, I think you would see the Earth is alive.
Yeah.
And that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think it really puts into perspective that we're all from down here, it feels like we're all in different places, and like there's the whole like differences between countries and continents and a lot of disagreements that happen. I think when you zoom out that far and kind of see it as a big picture, it could really help a lot of people realize that we're not so different and that we kind of share the same space and we're all kind of trying to do the same thing, just progress as a population. So
Yeah, sorry about the airplane. So while the airplane's going over, I'm going to say to Robert Lopez, I'll send you a link to the show and you get signed up, but you have to do it quick because there's only about 20 slots left. Now back to what you were saying before the plane. The in space, though, going to space, you and I talked a little bit before. That doesn't mean we also think that people should keep starving and we shouldn't.
oh
you know,
no, 100%. I don't think I would go for selfish reasons. I mean, if I had the capacity to change the lives of maybe billions of people, I don't know if I would spend my time going to space. But yeah, if it was just like a one-off, like someone was just like, "Hey, hop in this spaceship and go," I don't know if I'd have a choice. I think I would have to. But yeah, I don't know. There's caveats and there's yeah.
So tomorrow on the show, it's special to me because it's Raven, my daughter, who we brought out here, and it is her 22nd birthday. So I'm forcing my family on special days to be on the show. What question would you like me to pass to Raven?
I think I would ask her, if you could be the best at anything, what would you be the best at and why?
And if I ask you that same question, how would you answer it?
I would want to be the best at doing what I do right now. I'd want to be the best at making fun dance music or just music in general. I think if any one person could attain the title of being the best at making music, that's what I would want to attain. But I don't know if that's entirely possible as is, but that's what I'd want to do.
If money wasn't an issue at all, like if you didn't have to make money,
Yeah,
would you still be doing music or would you do
100%.
something else?
I think that's why I pivoted from business-oriented career path into music, because music is something that I would do regardless. I think even if I was working a job and still pursuing real estate, I would still be doing music in my free time just because that's what I love to do. So I figured if I would do it anyway, why not try to make a career out of it, So
Hold on 1 second. There's 11 million people here that fly around sometimes.
there's like 3 airports.
I used to fly into Ontario all the time, but I think that's way out there.
That's a
right?
little bit.
Yeah. So I'll be curious what Raven has to say tomorrow on that too. I always like it when people are doing what makes them happy. I think if everybody in the world had that opportunity, I think we might even say privilege, then we'd have a much better world. We'd have people that weren't suffering, obviously, but it'd be happiness.
100%.
So that kind of leads us into, you said the word joy earlier. I just said happiness, and I ask you to choose happiness, sadness, joy, hope, and or love. Which words would you like to talk about? And you still going to go with your...
Yeah, it shows happiness and joy. So I think to me, happiness, or at least the difference between the two would be happiness is kind of like a more long-term state, something that you can work towards and something that you can always strive to be happier and do what makes you happy and make decisions based on what makes you happy, not necessarily what makes other people happy all the time. So, and joy is kind of like a experience, I guess, something like, for something that I'm closely related to, like in the club, dancing to whatever music, that brings me joy. But joy isn't necessarily it's a fleeting thing. I think happiness is kind of something you can always work towards. So,
and he just articulated my original hypothesis around those two words better than I ever have. So I think just like you, I use the same exact
Yeah.
definitions, not the same exact, you did it better, but I have that same thought. Happiness is a state you strive for, and it's kind of a constant.
Yeah.
But joy is kind of looking at that hummingbird right there
Yeah.
and saying, oh my God, it's a
Yeah.
hummingbird. Only 1 out of 3 people believe that.
Yeah. Really?
2 out of 3 people think it's the other way around.
Really? Wow.
And I don't know why, because
Yeah,
I
I
thought
don't
we
know.
were all on the same page on
I
this.
guess you could go either way. I guess it's dependent on your experiences with the two words in a way, but I think, yeah, for me, it's just the way I think about it. Happiness is long term, joy is short term. There's no right or wrong, I guess, but yeah.
I really like how you say that, but I think people, they also think like they're a joyful person.
Yeah.
So they put them in
Yeah, I
that
can
state
see
of
that, yeah.
joy.
Mhm.
And happy is such a weird word, because you can say, you can ask someone, are you happy, or why aren't you happy? And they
Mhm.
can get really upset about it, right?
Yeah.
Get defensive. Why do I always have to be happy? I don't want to be
Yeah.
It's not what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting to me
Yeah,
that
it is interesting.
those two words are so different to so many different people.
Mhm.
I knew happiness was. I thought when I threw joy in, it would give us all something more in common, and it didn't.
Yeah.
It's way different
Yeah,
than I
it's
thought.
crazy.
So remember to do experiments when you're an entrepreneur. It'll teach you stuff that you think you don't know, or something like that. So did we forget to talk about anything?
Unless there's anything you want to talk about, I'm open for anything.
Well, no, I think it's pretty good. That's I think. Oh, I know one. Here's one that I can never answer. What's the difference between? Let's just do the two.
Yeah.
House and dubstep.
House and dubstep. So, okay, this is something I could go on for a while. But dubstep, I would say a lot of dubstep is, and I'm going to break out a lot of music terms right now that might not be so accessible to everyone, but like dubstep is a lot of like halftime. So I think of it as like it's a lot slower than house, and it's usually produced somewhere between like 130 and 160 beats per minute, which is how many times, like when you tap a tempo, that's how fast something is. And house is a lot more narrow in what it encapsulates. It's usually between like 110 and 130 BPM, and the kick always happens on every beat. So it's boom, boom, boom. Like when you think of club music, it's like boom, that kind of stuff. And yeah, house is a lot more like, at least I think it's a lot more like laid back, or it can be, and it's a lot more like raw. Or dubstep is a lot more like futuristic and aggressive and heavy. They can both be a lot of different things. I think it depends on who you ask, but yeah, I guess that's essentially the main difference. Because most genres are defined, not all, but most are defined by what the drum patterns are doing. So the drums in house are like boots and cats, that kind of thing. Where dubstep is very like slow and like trotting. I think of that, and like a lot of heavy like bass sounds. So, yeah.
This is not quite an epiphany yet, because I don't have it fully developed, but I'm starting to think, dubstep is something around telling a story, and a futuristic story. You just gave me that word because I didn't think about that before. And house is more, this is what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And you're not going to escape this moment.
Yeah. So, yeah, a big like saying in house is like a feeling. You kind of feel house, and it's less about like the crazy sounds and what it's doing. It's more about the tension and release and the build and the drop. And dubstep is a lot more like, if I had to compare dubstep to something that a lot of people would be more familiar with, it'd be like heavy metal, like heavy, like high energy, loud, like boom, boom, boom. And house is more of like just like something, I don't know, just like a steady beat that it's coming and it's predictable. And then that's why I think it's great, where it's like dubstep is the reverse, where they want to surprise people, keep people on their toes, do a lot of switches and changes. So
Is house like happiness and dubstep like joy?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. if you
Kind
think-
of.
Yeah.
That fell into place
Yeah.
a little bit. So, man, thank you for
Yeah,
hopping on
of
here. I
course.
know we kind of twisted your arm and all of that at
Yeah,
first,
It's
but
all good.
I love your story. I love what you're doing. I love
Thank
that you're doing something that you're passionate about
you.
and makes you happy. So, all right, everyone. I don't know what time we're going to do the show tomorrow. Like I said, I've been traveling, been doing it in different cities. I know that it will be done before midnight Eastern time, but probably closer to the afternoon time like usual. So stay tuned. I think it's going to be a special show. Raven and I have done some good things together before. If you've not heard our StoryCorps and stuff like that, so tune in to watch Raven. And what would you like to take us out with, Jameson?
I don't know, man. Just happy to be here. Happy to be on the show. Happy I could share my story. Have a little outlet to talk about what I do and maybe shed some light on some stuff that's unfamiliar for people. And
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. All right, everyone. We love y'all, and I will see you tomorrow.